I'm very proud of our team. Their willingness to prepare and compete, come down here in front of 100,000 people and play the way they played, and take the crowd out of the game and play the game. We knew that they had a good football team up front in their offensive and defensive line. They're as big and as physical and as fast as anybody that we play over years past, and so it's always a challenge. Defense continues to play well. We had a drive that we didn't defend the run very well, gave up a touchdown, and offensively we were able to run the ball effectively, use play action. Clint fired one in there to him and misread on a free safety, but other than that, it was effective with what we asked him to do. Kicking game was excellent. Our coverage units were excellent. Ty Linder had a great plan in our kicking game. Field goal kicker made a kick. Punter punted the ball well. So it gave us a chance to come down and have a lot of success. And I think we kind of set the bar and set the tempo right there at half. They were trying to move the ball and score, and ran the draw, and Tyler really put a good lick on their back. The kid's a good player, and we're glad he was okay. But it just kind of, set the tempo for our players. So it was a good game. We were able to match them, field goal to start the second half, and then from that point on, we're willing to exchange punts. If we could hold them and they punt, then we're willing to punt with them and play the game, and that's the way we finished it up.
Mike, did it seem like it was on the verge of becoming like a shootout right before Justin's interception?
Oh, not really. I didn't feel that way. I didn't really feel like either offense took control. I didn't think it was going to become a shootout.
How about Justin? I mean, what more can be said about the way he plays?
And to come back from last year where we were all on him. I was on him, fans were on him, media, everybody was on him and about not playing well. And it's a great example of young men not listening to outside sources and just worry about what really matters. And he's come back and he's played terrific this year. He's played the way he should. I mentioned in August I thought he would have a good year because he had a great off season. And mentally he's been into it, and have to give credit where credit's due. We were on him last year, and if he continues to stay humble and be unselfish and play the way he is, then he'll continue to play well.
Could you talk about something gets you off to a good start, that first drive, some quarterback draws, and just kind of set the tone where they were playing catch up?
Yeah, Clint managed the game really well and continues to be a nifty runner for us, and we didn't need to use him running as much in the second half, so we didn't. But it's not an easy place to play, and there's a lot going on. He got caught, safety rolled over the top on the one interception of the end zone. Other than that, he plays pretty good from start to finish. So I'm proud of him, the way that he's developing and leading our team and offense. He's stepped up and leading our offense at this time.
Hey, Mike, we're sitting here kind of dissecting the game, and we may be missing the big picture. You used to be a Texas team that had won 6 straight, hadn't lost a Big 12 game by 25 points.
I agree. I mean, we understand how big the game is. I'm not sure that at times everybody wants to say that that's a heck of a win, but it is what it is. You very seldom go on the road and win by more than 3 touchdowns on teams that are undefeated in conference play in the middle of November. So the guys just play well. They've made a commitment, and you guys ask me each week, and I tell you, because I don't know if you believe me or not, but this team has a good chemistry, and they've made a decision to play well as a group. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mentioned it to him in the locker room that they play unselfish and they play the game humble. They celebrate as a group with each other, and we talk to them all the time about handling the game in that manner. I love all kinds of football, but the NFL is never about that. They watch it, it's always about me, I made the play. And we use that as an example of we don't want to play that way. We want it to be about the team if you want to continue to have success and win. And for whatever reason, they've listened and they've bought into that. And we're firm believers in that as a coaching staff, that everybody has to be involved. It's got to be unselfish football. We don't know who's going to get the ball on offense. It could be Des, could be Rennie, could be Jeremy, could be Tracy, could be Charlie, could be Clint. And they've bought into that. We don't have players that say, why am I not getting my catches? Why am I not getting my touches? Defense is the same way. Guys roll in and out. And that's why they're having success.
Can you win the Big 12?
Well, I certainly think that we got as good a chance as anybody. We're in playoff football now. You got to win the next one to get to the next one. And, if you'd have asked me that 6 weeks ago, and I would have said we as good a chance as anybody, you guys probably would have got up and walked out, justifiably so. But I think at this point now, if our players continue to practice hard, we're playing the best team in the league next week. So we'll have our hands full. It won't be easy. I think they're I haven't studied them on crossover tape yet, but they're on the verge of what you would call a great college football team. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Mike, can you talk about the importance of takeaways? It just seems like you're getting 2, 3, 4 a week, and Levy's interception, and bam, you hit him with a touchdown right away. It's just so important, isn't it?
Yeah, they had a backer matching up in a match coverage and dropped off and read the quarterback's eyes. Levy did, and before the half, as John mentioned, Gilbert's interception was huge. It just turned the tide so fast, and our players have been opportunistic, and I think it's because of their tighter coverage. We're more athletic on defense than we ever have been. I've shared that with you guys for 6 months. And we're deeper than we ever have been, and so we can keep our players fresh so they can run to the ball more. And if you run to the ball more, whether it's in pass defense or run, you got a chance to be around the ball. And so that's really what's happened, in my opinion.
Gilbert's injury, was that a serious one in the fourth quarter?
I never talk about injuries.
What was the key to getting the running game going early on in the game with Clint and with Dez? It was pretty clear that that's how Texas was going to try to attack you.
Right.
It kind of just seemed like you were like, all right, we're going to play tough football. You're going to play tough football.
Right.
And
We mentioned, Gina, on Sunday night that they were going to run it. We all knew that, and they should. They're big and physical up front, and they got good backs. And so at times you have to match that with the run yourself, and that's where we have improved over the last month. And so you don't want to go into we don't believe you can go into a game with who could very well be the best group of pass rushers in our league. And they've survived and made a living on sacking the quarterback and creating negative plays and fumbles for a number of years here, because those guys that play up there are really good. And in our opinion, the only way to defeat that is to run the football. Otherwise, you put your quarterback back there and he gets smashed in front of the home crowd and everybody's jumping and yelling, and it's not a fun time. And so that was kind of the approach that our offensive staff had going into this game.
Mike, in a big picture sense, you guys lose at Morgantown, Texas loses at Provo, and then they also lose it against Ole Miss. For you guys to be here tonight playing for this, what does that say about the process that college teams have to go through, improvement throughout a 4-month season? All that stuff?
You always want to be better next week, and we talk about that. And some players understand that, just what you said, some don't. And fortunately, this group does. And I think one thing I've learned in doing this now for going on 10 years is you get 2 practices a week. Okay, so when you play very poor in Morgantown, you can't get it all cleaned up before the next game, whoever that was we played. You have to say you get 2 practices that week, you get 2 the next week, you get 2 the next week, and 2 the next week, because we all know you practice on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday's a polish. So you only get 8 practices to improve over a one-month period. And so you have to decipher and break down how much you can improve each week, because you can't look as poor as we did and then come out the next week and look good. And I thought that our offensive staff and our kicking game, those guys in our kicking game, understood that. And we said, we're going to get this done this week, then we're going to get this accomplished next week, and this accomplished next week, and then hope we can win them. And a month later, we've got a chance to be a little bit better. And that's where we're at right now.
Did you see similar improvements on film with Texas
Yes.
since there?
Yeah, Texas is a good football team. Texas is a, and we can, we can say what we want, but when you turn the ball over and you turn it over for touchdowns, which they know, okay, then it snowballs on you. I've been in there. I've been there, seen that. I've been on both sides of it. And coming into this game, you guys asked me, and I told you I thought it would come down to the running game and turnovers. And it really does for the team playing on the road. And I know that, I can't speak for Texas, but I'm guessing they're going to tell you the same thing. It's just difficult to win when you're matched against a team that you could be equal to if you turn the football over, and certainly if you turn it over for touchdowns, because each team gets so many possessions. And so if you turn it over, they get that many more, you get that many less. And if it's a touchdown, then they get another one and a touchdown, and you get one more less. And that's really, it's just a numbers game.
Once you're up 28-10, you mentioned Texas wanted to run the football. You feel like now you've got them out of their game because they may not be equipped to. They may have to do something besides run the football to come back on in the second half. They may have to throw it more than they want to.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And, that's the hardest time for an offensive head coach, because you have to be, or you don't have to, but if they wanted to run it and punt, then I was willing to run it and punt. And, the offensive coaches don't like that, players don't like that, but I don't really care.
Josh Stewart obviously didn't play today. Just how did that impact things that you were trying to do offensively, and how you feel like you guys kind of filled in things?
Stewart is a special player, and any time that you lose a player that can change a game, it affects your team. As we mentioned in Monday in the press conference, you asked me, and I was hoping that we'd get him back, and if not, people asked, how does it affect you? There's only so many guys on the field that can change a game, and he's one of them on our team. Like number one for their team, their wideout, he can change a game. Our guys did a great job of covering him. He's very skilled. And we've got a few guys on our offense that can change a game, and Josh is one of them.
Could you hit on the momentum you guys are out on a roll, get to finish up with home, the last two ball games, basically the Big 12 championship?
It's nice to come home. We've played 10 games, and I think we've had 6 on the road. Is that correct? We've only played home 4 times. So it's nice for us to come home and play in front of our crowd. They should be excited, and I can't imagine that they won't want to sell out and fill the stadium for the players, for what these guys have put into the game. I would think that they would just be coming out of the woodwork to fill that and maximize the 60,000 and be there tailgating and have some fun. It's college football. You only get a chance to do this once a year.
Last couple questions.
Mike, you mentioned, that the offensive players didn't want to just trade punts.
Mhm.
But is that, in a sense, a smarter way for this team to win? I mean, you're just doing what you got to do to win?
Those are just decisions I make. And, I was real honest with you. It's hard for me as an offensive guy to do it, but it's a numbers game, and the clock is on our side, and our defense is playing good. And call it like you want. Like Jimmy said, they're in a situation that they're not comfortable with. And so why change what we're doing? Why make it easy? We both can run the ball, and we weren't wanting to punt, but, we take care of the football, use the clock, and if we have to punt, punt. Coverage game was good, and our punter was good today.
Last question.